The NFL Combine is here, and the Houston Texans are ready. Nick Caserio and company are cooking up another year of amazing draft picks, first-round picks, sleepers in the late rounds. You know, obviously they've had such success doing that. We're
Draft
really
time,
pumped
buddy.
to see it.
Draft
Yeah.
time, baby.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
so
to
much
Lost
fun.
Gridiron.
This time of year is really exciting just to dive into everything. And today, as we're recording this, is day one of the NFL Combine. We got defensive linemen and linebackers today, which obviously as Texans fans we're looking pretty closely at, as well as some other position groups like corners, receivers, and just a little bit of everything.
Guys, welcome to Off the Gridiron.
Welcome, dude. Welcome to
Yeah.
the Gridiron. You're Apollo HOU Houston, Texas podcast. My name is Noah Outlaw. I'm your host as always, and I'm here with Garrett Harrelson. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? This isn't my beautiful home. This isn't my beautiful wife. This is my set. No,
it looks good.
We got rid of the office. We're getting a new office, new studio, coming April 1st, around that time. So until then, I will be doing it from home. This is where I sleep. This is where I shower. This is where I eat. All right here. So I'm going to be doing the podcast from here. But it looks fine. It looks good, and we party hardy. NFL Combine is
good.
here, and I'm a huge fan of the NFL Combine.
I put my Stroud jersey up back here.
Looks good, man.
There's some things. Yeah, there used to be like
Looks good.
sheets, and I fixed it. I did some stuff.
You had to do something. I got the McLovin jersey up here, the Godfather, like just random shit that didn't even make sense to the podcast. But I got my bongo right here. It's my desk, so I'm like decorating it.
It's all you. Even though that McLovin jersey, that is mine. That
is yours. And you know what? It's finders keepers. It's finders keepers.
Yeah,
you
got it. I don't have any need for it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Were you gonna come back and get it one day? No. So it's gonna stay up
now
here on my wall.
Now I fucking will because you're talking shit.
No, yeah. After this, you'll have to fucking. I won't give you the coordinates of it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna move it somewhere, and you'll have to find it. But get back on track. I love the NFL Combine. It's one of the most underrated parts of the off season to me. Even though like in past seasons, I haven't been able to really like watch it all because it is on during the day, during the work week. So before I was in sports media, I wasn't able to watch like the 2 p.m. Defensive linemen running their drills and their workouts and all that. But here I am, and I'm gonna be able to see it all, and I will be watching very closely. And I have a few fucking guys that I'm gonna be watching very, very closely, and hopefully the Texans would be too, because I really have a few draft crushes, and I know you do as well.
Yeah, I have some draft crushes. I know you do. Garrett's been in the trenches studying. I've been more focused on free agency a little bit. I'm pumped for that. But the Combine's today, so that's kind of made me kind of get into it. I've been finding my guys, and I've had some names, on my mind for the last couple months that I'm pretty excited about. So I'm excited to talk about those guys. Excited to hear yours. Garrett, why don't you start out? Give me one of your big draft crushes.
So I'll just say it right now. My number one draft, and I don't know how likely it is we'll be able to land him after today. I feel like it won't be likely. I feel like it'll be impossible because I really do feel like he has a chance should be a top 10 pick in my opinion.
Yeah.
Jon Newton, defensive tackle out of Illinois. He is my favorite draft guy this year. Like he is my crush. He is a game changer, I believe. I believe he's going to be the best defensive player of this draft. I watch him compared to other defensive tackles. Yeah, no, he's crazy. He's a freak.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little bit undersized, but I guess that really just doesn't matter anymore. Guys, I'm not calling him Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald has kind of come in the league and been like, who cares if I'm undersized? I'm a beast. I'm an animal.
Yeah, Aaron Donald might be shorter, but he's fucking, he's built.
He is shorter, actually. Aaron Donald was like 5'11", 6 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Jon Newton, about 6'2", 295 pounds, which is a little undersized as an interior defensive lineman.
That's a guy right there, man. That's a guy.
It's a big boy, but he ain't no Devondre Sweat, Like, ain't no Devondre Sweat, which I don't know if you saw what he just weighed in at. a little bit ago.
No, I
He
didn't.
weighed in at 366 pounds. Yeah.
Bro,
So we'll
do not land on my quarterback, you fucking asshole, dude.
he might kill someone, dude. He might kill someone if he just falls on him. Yeah, like so compared to like guys like that, maybe undersized, sure, but he's got get off me speed. He's got quick hands. His motor is just never ending. If you
Yep.
put him in the middle of this defensive line, I mean the Texans defensive line, bookended between Will Anderson and hopefully Jonathan Grenard after this free agency period. We're talking about sacks on sacks, buddy. We're talking about Will Anderson might get 20 sacks just because Jon Newton is in the middle. And I hope, and I this is what I found out. Jon Newton, I was like, okay, it's a pretty cool name because I look at draft names too. Do they have a cool college name? It's a huge deal, you know. Do they have a cool college name? You know, a guy like Chop Robinson out of Penn State, great
That's
college
phenomenal.
name, great prospect name. Jon Newton is like, okay, all right. Watching his highlights, he goes by Johnny Newton, Big John, Johnny Newton. I'm in. But after today, I believe I feel like he's going to show out at his combine, and he will probably, at the very least, be a top 15 pick, very least. But I'm waking up every day and praying that he somehow falls to 23, and then Texans can grab him because he is a freak. He's a freak among freaks, in my opinion. I love that guy.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. I think you're right. I mean, I think already, even before the combine, he's a guy that's probably wasn't going to be available for us there at 23.
A lot of people mocking to us though, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I've always kind of thought of him as a you know, like maybe a late teens kind of guy. But I don't know. I mean, God willing, he can fall to us. That'd be lovely. But like you mentioned, we'll see about. But because I'm with you, I think if he's available in the first round, I mean, there's a couple other guys I might take personally, but I would absolutely adore that pick. I think, and you're right. The name is
it would be him or Byron Murphy out of UT that I would love at 23.
Yeah.
Which
here's the thing, and I'll get into this right now. Here's the deal. I have a defensive tackle who I think is going to be fucking phenomenal, one of the best DTs in this draft.
Can I guess who it is?
We can get in the third round. Huh?
Can I guess who it is? Third round? Oh,
we could get him in the third round. I think similar to Johnny, I think he's going to have a really big day today, and I think that might change a little bit. But that's why I'm not so eager.
Oh yeah, you talking about late day 2 picks got me rock hard, buddy. I'm harder than a Georgia pine
buddy.
right now. Yeah, come on,
brother.
Give it to me.
Come on,
give it to me.
Who is
it? Who is it?
Ruka.
What'd you say? Did my computer stutter or did my computer glitch out? What was that?
It did not. His name is Ruka out of Clemson. 6'4".
Okay, tell me more. Tell me more, Poppy.
6'4", 290. Big guy. Not fucking Byron Murphy, but 6'4", 290.
Fucking tall ass.
Started playing football late. Moved over here from Nigeria in his teenage years. Started playing ball and went to Clemson, and is just insane. You want to talk about motor? We bring on motor a lot. He doesn't stop. He does not stop. And a lot. I was reading up on him, and a lot of GMs in the league say that he's a guy who currently has like a third round grade, but wouldn't be shocked if he gets a higher second round grade after the combine. So
interesting. If
he's a guy who we can get in the third round, which right now in every mock he's mocking in the third round, I think he's absolutely the guy. I think he's going to be up there with some of these first round picks at the same position, and I think that opens up spots for us to grab a corner or a receiver in the first round, other than a first round defensive tackle, which I would be okay with. But I've kind of been saying this. I don't think defensive tackle is something we need to use our first rounder on this year. I really don't. I would respect a Johnny Newton. I'd respect like Chop Robinson if we got him out on the edge, right? But overall, I think there's other positions. that kind of should maybe get that first round pick. We should use that
I
first round pick on.
going off of what you're saying right now is like I think it just depends on who's there because it's like
Yeah,
we've talked about this. We've talked about this before. We have our star quarterback. We have our head coach. Like as long as you have those two guys, like you just need to fill in the holes around them. And it's just like there's no real. We have priorities. Obviously, every team has priorities and fill like holes to fill. But it's just like I feel like hey, whoever's there, like if none of those if all the like because we would probably both want a first round corner, you and I, if like if Nate Wiggins was maybe there or like a Quinion Mitchell, but if they're not there, they get taken before. It's like what do we do? Like just don't overthink it. Just be like who's the next best guy on our draft board? Oh, it's this receiver. Okay, just get him. Like don't overthink it. Like I feel like it's just that this at 23, a playoff team, it's just gonna be the best player possible scenario.
Yeah, best player available. We don't.
Yeah, best player.
We do have
best
holes to fill. The Texans do have some holes to fill still, but they're not as glaring as they have been in years past, right? Right. Last year we were coming in like we need a quarterback. Like
we came
there's
in
nothing
like
else we can do with any.
We came in like fucking like please, sir, I want some more. And like fucking
please, sir, can I have some of your players, please?
Yes, and we were given a fucking we were given a king's ransom last year in terms of a draft, and it's like, oh, all right, we're a Super Bowl team now. Okay, all right, well, who do we get?
Draft. Right. Maybe ever? Did we have the best draft ever? I don't know.
It might become that. It might become that. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no. Now it's just like, hey, who's best available? Oh, okay, Chop Robinson at 23. Let's just get him. I'm not going to be worried about unless we get like a tackle, which it's. I'm pretty pissed that everyone's mocking a tackle to us.
But that's just crazy. People who don't know enough.
You don't know. Who don't know. Mel Kiper, you do not know. Okay,
Titus he doesn't know ball. He always does that. They were doing that last year, trying to mock us tackles, and I was like, guys, Titus Howard is our dude, and I know he got hurt last year, and now it's kind of getting to a point where we're like, okay, Titus, we got to get you out on the field, man. We got to get you playing. I love Titus, and he's really fucking good when he's playing. But we're not. We at least have another year of being like, all right, Titus, let's get after it before we're looking at tackles. I hate.
Yeah, no, I like
my guy. My first draft crush. I just want to say, Ruka. I really like him a lot. I love him, and also I thought about something cool. His name is Rook Ororo, and I'll say he'll row your quarterback's boat.
Ooh, that's cool. I'd like that. That's cool. Right? I'll be. He's doing shit today, so I'll be definitely looking closely at him. Who else is? It's he's defensive lineman, and who else? It's there's two groups going today. Linebackers, that's right.
Linebackers.
You know what? I didn't really write in the article I just put out. I didn't really write about linebackers because I have so much faith in Christian Harris because he made exponential. He had exponential growth last year, but. We look at like giving CJ Stroud help. That's going to be a huge priority because it's like, two things that I feel like are very underrated. Tight end depth this year at least because people want Dalton Schultz back. We both want Dalton Schultz back. It might not happen. I don't know. And safety depth. One guy I was looking at, Ben Sinnott from Kansas State. Who knows what round he'll go in because a lot of people are projecting him as a 5th, 4th round pick. That's where I definitely see that. I don't know if I would if we get him anywhere higher than that. That's kind of crazy to me. Unless he just has an absolutely insane combine and just is like proven to be you're a day 2 pick. No, this is a day 3 pick. Ben Sinnott. He's kind of like James Casey on steroids. Remember James Casey?
The
Texans? He's like James Casey on steroids who can get vertical. Yeah. He's got a willingness to block. I was watching him against UT, his film against UT. He is great run blocking. Pass blocking, fucking forget about it. We'll get there. But run blocking, he's very physical. He can use his size. He can get vertical. He can play all over the line too. play out wide, play in the slot, play tight end, play out of the backfield.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a fullback tight end hybrid. I kind of suspected we would just use him as a tight end most of the time, that since we have Andrew Beck. But if we do draft him, like, he would be better than Andrew Beck though. So who knows? In my opinion.
Yeah.
I really do feel like we need to address tight end depth, because after Dalton Schultz, it's still like Brevin. Yeah, I like Brevin a lot. I love Brevin. He
Probably
seems
a
like
good
such
year.
a cool guy.
Good year for his role. For
Yeah,
sure.
solid year. Like, he had that long touchdown catch in the playoffs, but it's like
Yeah.
I still don't see enough consistency from him, and that's why either A, we draft a guy, or B, we look to free agency for like a B tier, C tier, like backup tight end that we can just sign. But if we are looking to draft one late in the later rounds, it could be him. I don't really want Cade Stover. We can look at him, but Ben Sinnott would be my. I feel like he's a sneaky. I feel like he's a sneaky weapon that we could draft and like immediately kind of do some things day one. Maybe not become like fucking Travis Kelce, obviously, but he can catch a few passes every now and then, run block when he's asked to. He could do some things. Okay, he could do some things when he's asked. I like him. I like him a lot.
Here's the thing. I'm really not interested in the tight end in this draft at all. And
it's fair.
Just first off, I want Dalton back. That's kind of my thing. I think that's a good move. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think it will. I still think it will, but I'm starting to lean towards it might not. And I know a lot of people are looking at D'Amico's comments about Dalton, but if you go back, D'Amico said the exact same thing about Grenard, like word for word almost. So and we know they want Grenard back. Like, we know that they're not going to let Grenard go. I'm not buying into D'Amico's comments. But here's the deal: there's one tight end in this draft that I want, and his name's fucking Brock Bowers, right? And obviously, Brock Bowers is one of the best players in this draft.
Get in line, buddy.
He's a top 5 player. He should be in the top 10. A lot of mocks have him falling to 18, 17, to Cincinnati, which would be fucking crazy. But
let me ask you this real quick. If he falls like towards like the late teens, do you say, hey, I'm Nick Caserio, hey, do we trade up and get Brock Bowers right now?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Here's the deal: if Brock Bowers drops past, I think the Jags pick 15 or 17. If he drops past like the Colts pick, which I think is 14, 15, bro, we got to trade up, because two things. One is, I saw Jordan from Texas Thoughts tweeted about this, and I was like, that's fucking brilliant. One, you make the Colts regret, because he's going to fuck shit up in the NFL. We all know this. You make the Colts regret not taking him, because then they got to play him 2 times a year. Also, what I'm not trying to do is I'm not going to let the Jaguars grab him at 17 and have him be a problem in our fucking ass for the next 10 years either. So here's the deal. If he falls past 15, you have to trade up to 16 to get him. I think it's very worth it. I say you can give up some of your day 2 picks, your day 3 picks, whatever the Caserio's got to do to go get Brock Bowers. And then you get Brock Bowers on the Houston Texans right now? Forget about it. But that's what I'm saying. That's the only tight end I want in this draft. And so if that situation could happen, that'd be great. But if not, re-sign Dalton. Fucking figure it out free agency wise. Get other tight ends, but we don't need to. I just don't. If it's like a 6th rounder, I don't care.
Can you imagine?
I'm good.
Can you imagine? I'm just sitting here thinking about if somehow, because here's the deal: Brock Bowers' combine, it's gonna be crazy. He's gonna kill in interviews. He is a class act. He's gonna kill in interviews. Mm-hmm. He's going to kill it in private workouts, all that, formal meetings. And then he's going to go out there and he's going to fucking put on a show. When he's doing his drills and his route running, he's going to look the smoothest, most polished tight end out there by far. And if he somehow gets past 10, that's crazy to me, because Brock Bowers is a unicorn tight end in a draft.
Yeah.
He's not some like diamond in the rough, like, oh, we can find him maybe like a Ben Sinnott type. Maybe in the 5th round he can be good. Like, no, he's a first round talent. You draft him, he's going to be a Pro Bowler, maybe even an All Pro player. I would fucking love that. I'm just sitting here imagining Brock Bowers, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. Can you imagine that? That'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
That's what
We
I'm
don't even
saying.
need Dalton Schultz at that point. That guy's better than Dalton
Yeah.
Schultz. But
Well, yeah, no, we don't. That's the thing. If we get Brock, we don't have to spend money on Dalton.
yeah,
But that's it. Like I said,
that,
to the tight end thing, I respect your Senate. I just don't. I'm not interested. Not interested.
yeah. I feel like I feel like we are interested. So if we do look towards a tight end, don't go high. Like apparently we haven't met with JT Sanders yet as of right now, recording 11 something a.m. We haven't met with JT Sanders. Yeah, so we're not looking at a big high tight end right now in the second and third round.
Yeah,
Probably like a 5th round guy, 4th round guy that we can just be like, he fits in our scheme
which is
and he can
fine.
maybe
That's fine with
be
me.
yeah. That's who I
Is
was
Chibi
looking at though.
Toriano still on the team?
Not after we draft Ben Sinnott, buddy.
Well, I know, but I'm like, what happened to him? He just fell off the face of the earth.
I don't know.
Okay, let me talk about this first time because I want to touch on our secondary a little bit because you were kind of talking about safeties a little bit. Okay, and also if my number one, you mentioned this earlier too. If Quinnion Mitchell or Nate Wiggins is available at our pick, you have to grab them. That's number one priority in my opinion. Either of those guys, get them, especially Quinnion. I fucking love him. But also I love Nate. But for sure, I want to talk about a secondary though. I want to talk about a safety we can get probably in the second. Definitely, he's not going to go in the first. So in second, and I mean it's possible he can go in the third. I don't think so though. And it's Javon Bullard out of Georgia.
Oh, he's a second.
Javon Bullard out of Georgia.
Yeah, he's a second. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm saying I really want him. But I've seen mocks letting him go to the third, which blows my mind. But if he's available in the second for us, I think he's absolutely someone we should do. I think he pairs really well with a Jimmy Ward and even a Jalen Petrie. I think he's like younger Jimmy Ward, honestly. And I think Jalen Petrie is more of this hard hitting, just like, fucking up your nose kind of safety, just kind of getting all up in your shit. And Javon is good, but he's just really good in coverage. He's really good at watching the quarterback's eyes. He's really good at making good, just high football IQ plays. And I think that's where Jalen kind of lacks a little bit. I think Jalen is good. I love Jalen, and I know he had a down year. I think he's going to be fine. But I think that's just kind of what I'm saying. And we obviously have Jimmy Ward, but if we can have him and kind of groom him through the next few years, I think Javon Bullard would be a phenomenal second round pick for us. I think it'd be perfect.
You're absolutely onto something with Bullard being close to Jimmy Ward in terms of skill set, because one thing that Jimmy Ward can do is he can kind of cover, and maybe not so anymore, but when Jimmy Ward first came into this league, he could cover all over the field. He can cover in the slot. He can cover outside. He can cover deep. He can kind of play in the box. That's what Javon Bullard can kind of do. He's kind of a do-it-all kind of guy, which doing that for a championship team like Georgia, back-to-back championships, one of the best runs that we've seen in college in a while, that's humongous. And grabbing, and I do really think that we need safety depth, because after Jimmy Ward missed as many games as he did last year, and Jalen Petrie kind of struggled in coverage, in my opinion, we had to get Kareem Jackson off of waivers to play safety. It was slim pickings after that. We need safety depth.
Yeah.
And Javon Bullard is a guy who can he can play everywhere all over the field. He can kind of come in, be a mentor, or be mentored by Jimmy Ward, mentored by Jalen Petrie. It makes so much sense. If we can get him in the second, or even if we grabbed him in the third round, that's a win for Nick Caserio. That's another.
Oh my god! If he was in the third, that's crazy. I think he's a perfect second round pick. I think he's a perfect second round pick.
Which after his combine, whenever corners,
I think it's
practice.
Tomorrow,
tomorrow. Yeah, he's or not corner safeties. Yeah, he's probably going to jump up draft boards, and also you got to figure like playing at Georgia factors into it greatly. Teams like
Yeah.
we've talked about it. Teams like look at winning pedigrees and they go, "Who's been a
Yeah.
part of that?" Oh, these players.
Hmm.
You've been a part of like a winning culture. You've been kind of uh, doctored into like a winning culture, and you're born out of it basically going into the league. So
Yeah.
you already have a winner's mentality. So that it plays huge, like greatly into draft stock. So he probably will rise up boards. Probably could be a very early day 2 pick. Could be a very early second rounder. Who knows? And he
Yeah.
might not even be there when we pick in the second round. But you're very onto something. I like that. I like Javon Bullard. I like where your head's at, son.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, he's a dream for me. Who's your next guy?
Yeah, this and I was gonna bring up safeties. The one guy I've been like looking at, he's probably going to be a first rounder, which is kind of crazy. And if he has a really good combine, we've already met with him. If he has a good combine, I would not mind just getting him in the first round at 23. And Cameron Kitchens. Now I'm not talking about him. I'm not going to talk about him in depth, but he is a complete safety. And if we were just get him at 23 after because he might just rise up draft boards and become a late first rounder, might just be one of those guys that hey, he's first round talent, get him. And Cameron
Yeah.
Kitchens he's the most complete safety in this draft. He can do it all. Play in
Mhm.
the box. He's fucking stout too. He's like 6'1",
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
205 pounds. He's basically like a Coke machine out there. He's a stout motherfucker. So he
Yeah.
can tackle, he can cover. That would be a guy I would look at in the first round if he has a good combine, a good rest of the offseason, good rest of the draft process. I'm looking at one guy. He's a receiver. He would fit so well.
Mm.
He would be
Okay.
such a weapon. It's not Malachi Corley, even though I do like
No, because
Malachi
I have a
Corley.
receiver. I have a receiver as well.
Yeah, and he's a lot like after he went to the Senior Bowl. Went to the Senior Bowl. After his Senior Bowl practices, people were like, "He's fucking pretty good, dude. He's really fucking good, actually." And I really feel like
Right.
after the combine, he could very well be like. I hope to God Kansas City doesn't get him with their last first round pick because it's like God damn it, Roman Wilson would be so cold on the Texans. He
Mm.
would be so good on the Texans. Roman
Yeah.
Wilson is. I was watching him the other day and I was like, he kind of reminds me of Tyler Lockett. And then I went and saw some like draft comparisons, and they're like, he's basically Tyler Lockett, and I'm like, I fucking would like that. I would like that a lot.
That would be lovely. Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
little bit bigger than Tyler Lockett too. He's about 6 feet, 195. He's a senior. Played at Michigan for all 4 years. Uh, he's projected to run maybe like a slow 4.2, a slow 4.2. Yeah,
Oh,
and
what?
a slow
Oh my god.
4.2. Like he's projected to run close to like a 4.28. We'll see if he actually does it. But people are saying
Yeah.
he's going to have one of the fastest 40 times for a receiver this year. And
That's crazy.
he's plays all over. He can play everywhere. He's always open. He's always open. At the Senior Bowl, at Senior Bowl practices, pretty much the entire time Quinion Mitchell was matched up against him, he was fucking cooking him, dude. He was putting him in spin cycles, bro. Like he wasn't even a match for him. He was just like his hips are
Yeah.
just so fluid and quick that he just turns this way, oh, he's gone this way, And he's got great hands too. I mean, like I
Mm.
said, if a team like Kansas City were just like, fuck it, let's just grab Roman Wilson with our last pick in the first round, that's pretty good. But
That would be yeah. That'd be
hopefully,
lovely.
but yeah, he hopefully he just kind of goes late into day 2 and we can maybe grab him because the way he breaks over the middle would be humongous in Bobby Slowick's offense because I know like a lot of those routes, a lot in Nico Collins, Tank Dell, they all were breaking over the middle a lot. And CJ Stroud
Yeah.
was just kind of like, reading the terrain most of the time. Like, who do I have going on? Let me use my anticipation as a weapon. That paired up with Roman Wilson's athleticism. Yeah, no, he'd be
Yeah.
fucking really good, dude. He'd be really good. I
I would
like him.
love that. Yeah. I mean, I'm down. Also, because I'm big on a receiver, and I have a receiver as well that I'll get to in a second to wrap before we wrap things up. But I love that. I mean, a Tyler Lockett sounds fucking great. That sounds phenomenal. I love that. And a 4.28. If he runs a 4.28 at the 40, oh my god,
Oh yeah,
that would be
like he
ridiculous.
might become a first rounder just because of that.
Hey, and
Who
also a good
knows?
name, Roman Wilson. Good name. You
Yeah, I
know,
like it. Roman Wilson. It's a great name.
it's a really cool name.
Who's
I
your
would love that.
receiver?
I'd be very down for that. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd probably have to get him in the first, right?
Who?
Will we have to get Roman in the first, or is he a second round pick?
No, he's like I said. It's one of those like picks where it's like a really complete Super Bowl team would be like, let's just
Yeah,
grab him in the
yeah.
first, like
Let's
late
grab
first
him.
round.
Yeah,
You know, like Kansas City was like a few years ago. They were like, let's just get Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know, why not? He will just fucking make us better, even though
yeah,
he didn't really. But it'd be like one of those. But he's definitely probably just gonna be a day two pick. Probably, honestly, I don't know. Maybe if he slips into the third round, if we were able to like target him, he'd be a trade up candidate in the third round to get, because
yeah,
that would be the one, that would be the receiver weapon that we're looking for this offseason. I don't know, no free agents, none of that. He just comes in immediately, replaces a guy like Noah Brown. He's better than Noah Brown,
yeah.
a lot better than Noah
Well,
Brown.
that's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I have a guy who my wide receiver crush, and it's a guy people are talking about. It's not a guy who's low key. It's not a guy who he's a guy we'd have to get in the first round. So this is a guy who if Quinion Mitchell and Nate Wiggins aren't available at 23, and this guy is, I say we grab him. I think this is a good first round pick. And you mentioned Noah Brown because I think this guy just is Noah Brown, but younger, faster, better. And it's Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. is getting mocked to us a lot. Brian Thomas Jr. is a fucking dog. 1,177 yards last year,
He put up
17
numbers.
touchdowns from Jaden Daniels. 17. Great. And he's 6'4", 205. Like I said, he has like a Noah Brown type look. And it's just, and his hands are
You know,
crazy. And his
do you realize
separation
how
that he
big he
gets.
is? Do you realize how big he
He's
is?
6'4",
He's
205. Yeah.
fucking huge, dude. Like I
He's
watching him, he
huge.
doesn't play like that. It's kind of crazy.
No, he
He
doesn't.
doesn't
He's
play like
quick.
that at
He's
all.
speedy. He's agile. Yeah. And what stands out to me is the separation he gets, and that's something that really CJ obviously look. Any quarterback's going to love their receivers getting good separation, but CJ is so good at noticing that immediately and getting the ball to those guys. That's what Nico
Yep.
does so well. It's what Tank does so well. That's what Brian Thomas does really well. And so, and obviously, he's one of these receiver names. He's one of these guys, right? He's not Marvin Harrison or any of these top dudes, Malik, but he's kind of that in that second tier, that late first round guy. If he's available in none of our corners that we like are if they're already gone, I think Brian Thomas is a great guy to get in the first round. And like I think kind of like what you were saying about Roman, Brian, that answers our wide receiver need. No free agency, spend money elsewhere, spend money on a tight end, spend money on literally anyone else, defensive, running back, whatever you want to do. But we figured out wide receiver if we got Brian Thomas because shit, Brian Thomas, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. Oh my God,
I mean,
holy
I'm about it. I'm about it. If we like Brian Thomas Jr. isn't a guy that I'm clamoring for, because obviously in the
mm-hmm,
first round, like I want other people if they're there. But
mm-hmm,
I've done mock simulators myself, and a lot of the times the best player available at 23 is Brian Thomas Jr. And I'm
yeah,
like,
mm-hmm,
if we just did that, that just would make our offense just so much better. You know,
yeah,
the people were like, "Oh, I don't want a receiver. No, I don't want that." And I'm like, "Do you understand? It would just make our
why,
offense even better. And you want better
yeah,
offense, right? Like that. Everything is
guys,
just going to help us. Yeah."
guys, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Brian Thomas Jr., and re-sign Dalton Schultz.
Gee,
If
hey,
you have Saquon Barkley or DeAndre Swift or Josh Jacobs in the backfield,
hey, hey. What?
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. So we'll be watching Brian Thomas Jr. in his combine. He is a freak. He's an athletic freak.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that kind of translates to his drills and all that. I'm also looking at like their pass catching drills and and whatnot because I mean if they got brick hands, I don't want another Will Fuller. How about that? You know what?
Yeah,
I was tired of those fucking. Remember the Ted Ginn hands, and it
yeah,
would be like no, and we were like no, no. And he would
yeah.
drop so many passes, and we're like,
So many. It's like your main fucking thing, bro. Like,
yeah, it's like bro,
figure it out.
you're a
It's not
receiver.
that your
You need
route running's bad. It's not that you're a little slow. It's not. You got to catch the ball. You
Yeah,
have to
I
catch
will
the
just
ball.
never understand being like, I'm a receiver, but I have a drop problem, and I'm like, you're barely a receiver then.
What? Yeah,
Yeah,
are
it's like,
you?
you
Maybe
should
you
be a
should be a
corner.
corner, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
um,
we've gone on long enough. I know we have tons of other fucking guys that we're going to be looking at this combine.
yeah.
It's a long
Mhm.
draft process, fellas, gals, everyone. It's a
It's
long
long.
draft
Yeah,
process
we got a
because
while. Yeah.
this is the only start. This is only the start of it because after this we have pro days and all sorts of
Mhm.
shit. But this is a huge day. This is an underrated day
Yeah.
or an underrated period in the NFL offseason. And we'll
Yeah.
be fucking we will be watching. We will be watching. Before we hop out of here, shout out our sponsors, Celebrity Mint, the Celebrity Mints on socials. I don't have the things around here because again, this is not my set. This is my at home. But they have great sports memorabilia, great movie memorabilia. They have Mike Tyson trading coins, Ric Flair trading coins, all legal tender. Very, very cool stuff. Go follow them on socials. The Celebrity Mint. Thank you to those guys, and also thank you, Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. I might go to Big City Wings right now and watch the combine. Just sit at the bar and
It's a
take
good
notes.
idea.
Yeah, I'll have them back. Can
Yeah.
you put on the combine audio? Turn it up a little bit because Rich is whispering a little bit too low. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Rich Wood. Yeah,
And
he whispers a lot.
yeah, it's like golf. They just whisper. I love it.
Mhm.
It's a good vibe. But Big City Wings, go there, go check them out. They're great. And also Celebrity Mint, go check them out on socials. Thank you to those two for sponsoring this episode of Off the Gridiron.
Hell yeah, guys. Thank you so much. Also, if you haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe. Lets us know that you like what we're doing. It means a whole lot to us. We appreciate it. Guys, comment down below. Who are your draft crushes? Who are the guys you're looking forward to seeing at the combine the most?
Yeah.
Comment all your stuff down below. Me and Garrett read it, reply to it. It's so fun. It's fun down there. We have a good time. We have a good time. We have a good community here.
By the time this comes out, Johnny Newton will have already ran a 4.240 and had a 50-inch vertical and all that. So like, yeah, that's probably your draft crush. So
yeah,
but who are other than just on
4.240? It's Caleb Williams. Who? It's fucking,
yeah, no,
it's
it's like every team wants to trade up to 1 right now, and the Bears are like, no fucking thank you. We have the best football player of all time. So
yeah. Also, guys, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Apollo Texans and on Twitter at Apollo HOU to keep up with the Texans and Houston sports in general. It's just keeps everyone up to date, and also over there we talk about stuff all the time over there too. It's so much fun. Good community. It's all about community over here, and especially with the good times that come in with the Houston Texans, a lot of exciting stuff. So make sure you go follow us over there to keep up with all that. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later.
See ya. Watch Texans offseason.